Hey Barbara, welcome to this episode of FabFit Friday. It's been chilly here all week, and today I have that feeling of summer. It's kind of muggy and it's hot in this office, so I have my little tank top on. I'm sorry. I feel like my days of tank tops are numbered, and actually my big plan for today is to make sure I get one more float in before we close the pool because the water's freezing, but it's warm today, so I'll be able to do that. Hey Tana, you're here. Yay! Tana's here. All right, so even though it's feeling very warm today, I want to kick off my fall sewing. And one thing I am desperately in need of are some new tops. Hey Janie, welcome. So I'm going to be making a Raglan sleeve top today, and I was looking at the underwear that I worked on last week, and I really like the look of the reverse flatlock. So I'm going to be using the reverse flatlock to construct the Raglan sleeve. I already have it cut out, so that's what I'm going to do today. But before I do that, I want to show you two things. I have two little show and tells. The first one is I have experienced a miracle. I found the original skirt that I made in 2005 when I shot the project for Threads magazine for the strippy skirt. So I just want to show that to you. I have it here behind me. Here it is. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. So you can see it. Oh, let me tip my camera down a little bit so you can see. All right, so here is the skirt. It's made of a variety of sheer and soft drapey fabrics. So I used silk charmeuse, I used silk georgette, I used silk chiffon, and I cut my strips in a variety of widths, and then I pleated them across the top, and I stitched it down. And to get the shape, let me just take this off here. So I actually have to unzip this skirt because it's close to the size of this dress form. Let me take it off and show you the skirt. Let me just back this up here. Okay, so I want to show you the inside of this. When I was working on the knit version, I tried to find the skirt and I couldn't, but then I went on a more detailed search for it because I'm going to be teaching the strippy skirt class when I go to Kentucky later this month. So I wanted to have, you know, this example or sample to show. So what I want to do is just show you here. Oh, let me just say hi. Oh, Victoria's just finishing her lunch. I hope it's something yummy. And Mary says you're in the UP of Michigan today. Yay. It must be starting to get chilly up there. I don't know. Is it getting cooler up there yet, Mary? And Diane. Hi, Diane. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. All right, let me switch my view here to my table shot. Okay. Now this, I found this in a box of things in my attic in my garage is where I ended up finding it. But what I want to show you here is I want to turn this lining inside out here so I can show you the inside of this skirt. Okay, the way I created the shaping for this is by doing a sort of a, well, I used a firm interfacing that was fusible, and we created darts to create the shape. And then you can see I did all of this decorative stitching across the pleats from the right side to hold the pleats down. But that's how I created the shape for this skirt. So if I turn it back around like this, you know, and then I use the lining, you know, to finish the waistline edge here, and it has a little invisible zipper here. So if I zip this back up, okay, and just lay it flat so you can see. I think you can see some of the details here. Hey Patricia, welcome. Oh, today is unusually cooler. It's in the 50s. Yeah, the weather's been crazy here too, like that. It was really cool, you know, to go hiking or walking early in the morning, like in the 50s here. And now, you know, now it's, let me see what the temperature is. I'm really hoping it says an 80s number because I really want to float today. 79, so we're almost there, but it's muggy. It feels like 80. All right, so again, just to, you know, just to show you up close here, let me see if I can get it so you can really see. So see how I did the decorative stitching across the pleats, and then the pleats release. So this is the original skirt. It's coming with me to Kentucky, and I have to say I'm really thrilled that I found it. So I wanted to share that with you. Now that I found that. Oh, and the other interesting thing is when I made my pleats across the top, I kind of made them uniform. So it almost gave a nice stripe effect here. You know, even though when you look at the bottom of the hem, like you can tell, like see, some of the strips are really thin and some are wider. So I just thought that was fun to play with all of these different things. And this is one of the classes I'm going to be teaching when I go to Kentucky. All right, the next thing I want to share with you is the underwear that I used, the one-sided fusible elastic from Sewing Chest in the UK. I washed and dried this, and I decided to do it before I sewed this shut. So the ends are just right here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to zigzag with a triple zigzag to hold these ends together. But you can see that this elastic worked great. I love this elastic, and I am dying to, you know, work with it some more and try it on some different things. I think I might try to use this to hem yoga pants or leggings. I think that might be a good use for it. So I'm kind of excited, but I did want to show you, they're the finished shape. And I have to say that this is the Don McCunn draft that I did, and I love the way this fits me. And I feel like it looks like a hipster. It's comfortable. It's high enough of a rise that it doesn't hit my tummy in the wrong spot. So I really, really love these underwear. I'm going to be making more of these, and I'm going to be perfecting my technique for putting this elastic on. One thing I did notice is if you happen to stretch the knit as you're fusing it, you can get a little bit of a bubble. So I think you can see right here. Just zoom in so you can see. See how like right here, there's a little bubble right there? That's because I stretched it when I fused it. I stretched the knit. So you need to be really careful not to stretch the knit when you fuse this. Barbara says, oh, it must be a different one. I don't know what that means, Barbara. Tell me what that means. Spots here. Victoria says, pretty skirt. Love the details today and tomorrow in the 90s. Lots of humidity. Beach day in Virginia Beach. Oh, yeah. Oh, I could imagine that must be so nice in Virginia Beach. Oh. I mean, I do enjoy fall. I have to admit, I really do enjoy fall. I'm a little sad because my summer season was cut short because after I left for PatternCon, when I came back, the warm weather was gone. So that's what happened. So my summer really ended like in the middle of August, I feel like, in terms of like summer heat. Oh, Tana says, this is our time to watch for hurricanes. It can be nerve-wracking. Oh, I know. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that, you know, you don't have any. When I stayed with my friend down in Florida, it was amazing to see the difference in the weather reporting compared to Connecticut. It was all about all of these graphics and stuff for hurricanes that were coming. So just stay safe. Oh, Spot's saying hi to everyone. Hi, Spot. All right, so that takes care of that issue. Now, the next issue I want to show you is I already did a sample of what I'm going to stitch together my raglan sleeve, and I'm just going to make this really bright so you can see. I'm going to use gray serger thread on this eggplant color. And you can see that just makes a nice detail. So I've already set up my machine and I've already got it, you know, ready to go. So that's the seam I'm going to be using to attach the sleeves and do the side seams. And then after that, I'm going to show you that you can also use this stitch to create a decorative edge around a neck binding. Oh, Barbara says, sometime back we watched you make a shirt like the one, oh, the skirt and threads. This one is different than the one we watched you make. Yes, this one, Barbara, is the one I actually made in the threads, in the article. I mean, when I did the article for threads in 2005, this is the skirt I actually made. This one's not knit fabric. The one I made a while back was knit fabric. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is Threads is celebrating their 40th anniversary. And a while back, Janine Clegg asked me, she emailed me and she asked me if I would share some of my memories of working with Threads and writing for Threads. And so I wrote a bunch of things and I sent it and then I forgot about it. But if you get Threads magazine, check it out. And the article, which the magazine's downstairs, so I'm not going to run downstairs and get it, but I can show you. I posted it on my Instagram. The cover of the magazine looks like this. Okay, so celebrating 40 years. And then here I am with the skirt I just showed you. Okay, so they featured me as one of the longtime contributors of Threads magazine. And I have to say that I was, you know, I normally, I don't know, this hit me as something where I felt very proud to be included in such a wonderful, talented group of people who contribute to Threads. So that was kind of a thrilling thing for me to open the magazine and page through and find that. And then if you scan the QR code to the web extra, there's even more. So it was really cool for that. So that skirt is actually the one I made on set when I was doing the project. It was an all-day shoot. And back then, the studio was in this rustic barn. It was a really cool location. And we spent all day shooting that class. I made the skirt start to finish. And we shot all the steps. So that was very, very cool. And that's where that peachy colored skirt came from. So now let me switch my self over. I've got my pieces cut out, and I mistakenly used a pattern from 2016 versus my more current pattern, but I did my knit math and I was able to verify that, you know, when I measured, just to show you here, I measured across my bust from here to here, from side seam to side seam like this, and then I measured the pattern and I compared the pattern measurement to my full bust measurement, and the difference was 7¼ inches, but the fabric would comfortably stretch 8 inches. So I had a little wiggle room there. So I always double check and make sure I have enough room, because if I didn't have enough room, I'd put a racing stripe all the way, you know, up the side seams and down the underarm seam to make it, you know what I mean? Make it fit me if it was too small. Oh, Spot says, in a magazine, girls got swag. I've been writing for Threads magazine for over 20 years. And back in the day, I authored the embroidery essentials department, which was machine embroidery, and I did a ton of projects for them in every issue. It was so cool. And then they dropped the embroidery essentials department. I wrote a variety of other articles about different things, fitting, jeans, you know, all sorts of things. I really, you know, I feel like I grew up with Threads magazine, and I learned how to write with Threads magazine, and I also learned how to become a blogger, a video blogger, on their Craft Stylish blog that they had for a while, and I was the embroidery blogger for that. So I really, you know, I've had a long relationship with Threads magazine, and I think it was just very, I don't know, it warmed my heart to see, you know, me featured in their 4 decades of sewing amazingness. So it really was very, very cool. Okay, so I am going to switch back over here now. And let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let me move my little mouse out of the way, my swatch. So when I sew together a raglan sleeve, the nice thing about working with a raglan is there's no armhole. You only have basically, you know, curvy lines to stitch. So actually, if you don't like setting in armholes, then the raglan sleeve is a nice option for you. You'll notice the dark side is the wrong side, the light side is the right side. So I'm making sure this is right side up. This is the back. I can tell it's the back because the back neckline is almost completely straight here, and it's not as, you know, curved as the front. And then I've got my 2 sleeves right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my sleeves like this, and the whole idea here is we want to make sure we're sewing the right sides to the right side. So let me just see which sleeve this is. This is, okay, so this is right side up. And if you look at the sleeve carefully, you can see that it's got a longer armhole and a shorter armhole, and this is the side neck here. So that's what, so this is how the sleeve looks. So this long edge needs to get sewn to this back armhole edge here. These are both right side up, so I can put this one down like this, and I'm going to get my clips and I'm going to clip them together. I think I can just use my Wonder Clips for this. Because remember, when you're on the serger, pins are not your serger's best friend. Oh, Spot says, I have many copies of Threads. Big fan. I don't remember how or why I stopped getting it. Well, I mean, so I have fallen off the wagon and gotten back on as well. Like, I used to subscribe to it and then I didn't for a while, and now I'm back to subscribing to it. I really feel like we have to support print magazines, because once they're gone, if they're not supported, we'll all be very sad. I mean, there's something about paging through a magazine that I find very satisfying. And I mean, that's, you know, just in general, there's a really good article in this issue about doing Hong Kong finish. It's a really beautiful jacket project. So if you like Hong Kong finish, there's a really good article for that. Nancy Nix Rice did something in there about, you know, I think clearing out your closet and getting your colors right. So if you're into matching your colors, that was a good article. All right. So here's the cool thing. Once I pin one sleeve on, I really can't mess it up on this side, because I have to match the longer armhole with, you know, the longer armhole. So it's this one right here. Oh, Dash Zap says I read Threads through my library's website. That's a good idea too. I mean, libraries are another thing that need to be supported. So, you know, I just feel like digital is good. It's convenient, but I think if all the print things went away, we'd be sad. All right, so now I've got these 2 armholes pinned to the sleeve edges, and I'm going to sew those first. Yeah, see, Barbara says she loves the magazine and loves thumbing through it. I do. I think there's something very satisfying turning the pages. I get that, and I get Vogue. You know, and speaking of Vogue, very sad to hear that Giorgio Armani passed away. He was so amazing. All right, this is my front. I'm going to leave that over here. I'm going to grab my serger, which I have right here. And if you guys remember, my light bulb is out. So I'm going to bring up my, oops. I'm going to bring in my third lamp here, so I have enough light, and then I'm gonna whack that down here so you can see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can just make this a little bit of a better view. There we go. All right, so remember, I set my machine up for a flat lock. On the Ovation, the flat lock is threaded so that you thread your lower looper here, upper looper here, and your needle goes in with the upper looper, and then you set your stitch selector to D to create the right tension if you're using an Ovation or a Triumph or an Evolution. Okay, so that's just a little tip for those three machines that have the air feeding and the auto tension. Oh, Barbara says Vogue magazine, I thought that was discontinued. I think Vogue Fabric magazine was discontinued, but you know, Vogue Fashion magazine is the one I'm talking about. I like to get inspired by what's on the runway. And actually, hold on one second. So the September issue is alive and well. Look how thick that is. Remember getting the September issue, and I felt like a kid in a candy on Christmas morning when the September issue came. But here's something that caught my eye immediately, and I want to make a version of this. I love this Dior dress that's all embroidery, like up the shoulders, sleeves, and you know, on the sides of the silhouette. I think that that is beautiful, and I want to figure out how to create a flattering thing for me. I think, you know, I'd want to minimize my bust area and maybe create essence of waist, which I do not have. So I'm going to be looking at that for different design options. Here's a light version of it. Just get this up here so you can see. Hold on. I love this dress. I love it. So there's a light version and a dark version. All right, so Cheryl says, can you remind me how to find knit fabric right side? Does it roll to the right side? All right, that is a good question. And the answer is it depends on the fabric. So if we look at this fabric here, let's use this front piece here. So I know that this is the right side because it's shinier. The dark side is a little bit more matte and darker. Now I could decide to use the dark side as the right side, but in this case the fabric is curling to the right side, but I do have fabric where it curls to the wrong side too, so it really depends on the fabric, but in this case this is curling to the right side. All right, so my light bulb went out on my Evolution serger and the light bulb was $12 with shipping. The repair wanted $80 to change it. Oh my goodness. Well, I heard, someone told me a couple of FabFit Fridays ago that for the Ovation, it's the whole unit that has to come out and it costs like $125. So that's why I haven't rushed to fix my light bulb yet, because I just don't want to spend a gazillion dollars on that project. I will investigate for sure when I get a minute, but you know, basically, you know, I would tend to try to fix it myself too. And actually we're a fix it ourself kind of family, because I'll show you. My love bun is out there right now. There he is. He's actually changing the brakes on the van. So that's what he's doing. So he's actually fixing that all by himself. And then he's going to fix the water heater. I think the thing keeps overheating. So he's out there fixing the car. So I'm sure I could figure out how to do a light bulb. Or I could get him to do a light bulb for me. We'll see. All right. So I am going to start stitching here, and I want to make sure that I get my fabric So it's like right, I want to make sure I catch it right at the top of the thing. So I'm making sure when I stick it under my presser foot here that it's pretty close to where the needle is. And I don't want to trim anything off because I've got a 3/8 inch seam allowance here. So I'm going to just go ahead and start serging. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to try not to trim anything off. Now, because I put my right sides together, the flat lock is going to show on the wrong side. And just to remind everybody, the flat lock looks like this. Right, that's the flat lock side. I feel like this could become a little bit lighter now. And then this is the ladder side. So whatever's right sides together is how you're going to see the ladders. That's what I want to show. But that's what the other side will look like, and it'll lay nice and flat, which is nice. Oh yeah, I turn the light bulbs off on your machines. That's a really good idea. I try to keep my machines off too when I'm not using them. All right, so I've got my first armhole. All right, now let's do the other one. I think my face camera, this new webcam I have is consistently giving me agita. I think it stopped working. So I'm just gonna go with this view for as long as I can because it shut off and I have no idea why. Apparently it's the Instalink 360 Link 2 webcam, and my husband researched and he thought it was like the best new webcam out there, so that's what he picked out for me. But so far I have not been super impressed with how it's working because it's been annoying the entire time, whether it's the syncing of the audio or following me around, or now it seemed to have shut off. And I have no idea why it did that. Let's see, I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in and see if that perks it back up. We'll see. Oh yeah, I think it did start working again. We'll see. All right, so let me just finish this seam. All right, so now let's look at this. This is my favorite part about working with a, let me just see. Before I show you my favorite part, I just want to see what happens when I flip back to my face camera. Yeah, see, I'm stuck. It's not working. I don't know why. All right, so I'm just going to use my table shot. I'm not going to argue with that. If you guys can hear me and everything, I'm just going to work with this view. And actually, this is annoying, so I'm just going to move this right out of the way because I don't know why that's not working. But can you guys hear me? I think you can still hear me. I'm just gonna do this and not show myself because you have a TV that just turned itself on sometimes. I mean, my cell phone will actually call people when I'm not even touching it. So, electronics do have issues, but this is a little annoying because this webcam was supposed to be like a really easy to use, quality, good picture, the whole 9 yards. And it's just, one thing after another. It's annoying. So you can hear me. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm just not going to show my face anymore. All right. So here's what the seam looks like, right? But then watch when you pull it, that's when the ladders show. See how I have all these nice ladders? And I just think that's a nice look, you know, for a raglan. Let me just get in there so you can see it. Let me turn this off. Let's put this light on while I'm working here, sorry. So I think this makes a nice detail. If it wasn't blurry and you could see it. So see, I think that's very nice. So this is my, this is the back. Okay, so I'm just gonna stretch out my other armhole here. I really like that. So the whole back is done. Okay, that's my back. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my front and I'm gonna lay that face up. So again, we know that for this fabric, it is curling to the right side. So I can see my little right sides are curling here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the sleeve and I'm just gonna lay it right sides together. So I'm gonna take the whole thing here, the back, and I'm gonna lay it right sides together. And I know that this is the wrong side, partially because I've got these wider flat lock seams showing. And I'm going to take this front armhole right here and I'm going to line it up with this front armhole right here. And we're going to pin those together. Like this. So like if you have in your stash knit patterns that are like ready to go, this is like my funnest kind of project because it's instant gratification. I can finish this all in one shot and then I'll have something new and exciting to wear when it gets cool. All right, so now I'm going to find the other right side is right here. Okay, there's the other armhole, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this armhole together with this armhole like this. Gary says, yes, the Ovation serger has a computer chip that has to be replaced when you change the light bulb, and that's why it's not cheap. See, it is $125 to $150 just for the part. That is ridiculous. That seems so unnecessary to me. Like, why do they have to make it so whatever? Although I will say that that Ovation, that light bulb in that Ovation has lasted many, many years. So really, if I, you know, figure out how much it costs per day, it's really not a lot of money. But also I feel like it shouldn't cost, you know, over $100 to change a light bulb. All right, so I've got my other ones pinned. I'm going to bring my serger back over. You can never get the hang of sewing with knits? Oh, Spot, yes you can. Yes you can. It's not hard, and actually knits are more forgiving, meaning, you know, you can make mistakes with a knit and still end up with a wearable garment because, you know, it stretches. So really, you probably can. I want to help you. All right, so now let's do this one. So again, I'm going to just be sewing my front armholes together. Okay, almost done with this one. All right, let's do the other one. And then here's the exciting part. The next thing is going to be to sew the side seams, and then I can try it on. And then I'm going to decide about, well, I'm hoping that it's not going to, well, I'm hoping I don't need to take it in on the sides. I guess I'm taking a little chance here because, you know, with flat felled seams, I'd have to like resew the entire seam or take the entire seam out to take it in. So I'm really hoping it just works. Oops. All right, you see what happened? I almost cut my fabric. So when you're swinging the chain around to use the knife to cut, make sure you have a long enough chain or use scissors. I almost caused a disaster there. Okay. All right, let's see what we have now. So now what I'm going to do is now you can see it's like a shirt. So that's why I love this. Is such an instant gratification project. All right, so you can see here's my neckline, right? And I'm going to just stretch out my, see, I just think that makes a really cool detail on especially on a raglan sleeve because of where the seams are. So now I'm going to turn this whole thing inside out, and I am going to pin together the front and back like this. So I have to find the base of the armholes, which are like right here. Spot says, I know you're right, but I can't seem to get my head around it. Well, you know, maybe try, you know, starting with a smaller project, something that's not, you know, doesn't have a lot of seams. Like maybe start with, you know, an A-line knit skirt, or make a skirt. My skirt pattern is really easy if you make the A-line version. And then, I mean, that's easy sewing. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is, I think you can see, I'm matching my, I'll shut this light off. I'm matching my underarm seam, you know, the base of the armhole seams first. I'm going to line those up. And then I'm going to pin down to my hem. And you know, if I wasn't on camera with you guys, this would be done already. So I'm taking my time to show you all these different things, but I love a quick knit top for something, you know, if I feel like sewing something for myself and it doesn't take multiple times to sew it. And also I want to try to get off my black, right, Mary? I want to try to get some colors. Now, I agree that this is a little bit of a darker color, but still it's not black. So I think that counts. All right, so I am going to just pin my wrist edge of my underarm seam together. And I'll put one pin in the middle of the underarm seam. So this fabric is curling, so I'm just trying to be really careful to match the actual raw edges here. All right, and then I'm gonna match up the underarm seams on the other side. Oh, you were wanting a cami? Well, a cami can also be a very easy thing to sew, you know, depending on what you do with the straps. That's a fun, quick project. All right, so I've got that pinned together here and here. And then I'm gonna pin together this. So if anyone's wondering, my my Raglan Sleeve top pattern is designed for curvy figures. So if you are a D+ cup size, you most likely will not need to make a full bust adjustment because it fits. It's got room in there for all of your curves. But I have made them for my sister. My sister's got an A cup, and I've made them for her as well. So it works for all different shapes. Oh, Victoria's been timid. Oh, okay, wait a minute. All right, so Victoria's timid, and she found a place called Sew Unknit. You knit. Teachers with different sewing classes. I'm thinking about signing up for some knit sewing. Well, I think that's a good idea. You know, I'm really a fan of like people who follow me to take as many classes from as many other people as you can, because everybody teaches differently and everybody learns differently. So I highly recommend, you know, doing that. And then, oh, Barbara wants to know, this fabric is, I got this at Fabric Mart last summer. It was one of her Beyond yoga fabrics. I don't know if she has it in stock anymore, but I did get it at Fabric Mart last summer or last spring when it came out. But like this kind of a fabric, you could find this kind of a fabric at Spandex House. Spandex House has a lot of jerseys that you can find, or any athletic jersey, you know, places that carry athletic jersey. All right, so I'm sewing the underarm seam straight through to the side seam all in one step now. This is like a flat constructed sleeve at this point. You know, and the nice thing is, if I didn't need to take this in, I could sew the entire seam a little bit deeper. However, I wouldn't want to have to sew one part deeper and leave the rest as it is, though, because that would be a pain. All right, so when I get to my, here, I want to make sure I cut these tails. I want to make sure they'll stay relatively even with each other. Okay. I am trimming a little bit off below the bust here. Just a little bit. All right, let's sew the other side. I'll just start from the hem and go up to the wrist on this side. Tana said, I bought Sew Tights because I'm cutting out slippery waterproof fabric, and they work perfectly. Thanks for showing them, Jen. Oh, I love my Sew Tights. Love, love, love my Sew Tights. And I'm really loving this magnetic cutting board too. Using them for waterproof fabric where you don't want to make holes is a really good idea, Tana. Uh-oh. I just pressed on the gas without my presser foot up. I'm afraid that's going to mess up my nice seam. We'll see. Okay, let's see if I have a disaster. Shut this off. I really hope I don't have a disaster. Oh, see what right here? I can see where I did it. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a disaster. So I started pressing on the gas right here with the presser foot up. So see right here. See how the stitches are all piled on? Let's see how that looks from the right side. I hope it's not going to be gross. I mean, I can take it out and do it again, but I really don't want to. Let me see. All right, let's see. All right, let me make this bigger so you can see. So you can find good athletic knits at Spandex House. That's in New York City. It's all one word, spandexhouse.com, or Fabric Mart is where I got this fabric, although I don't know if they still have this fabric because I bought it last year. All right, so I'm just pulling out my thing. All right, so on this one, look at how nice I matched. I'm giving myself a gold star for that. Let me see, this is the side I think that has the disaster. Let's make sure it's not going to show. Ooh, look, I matched this one up really well too. Oh, I think it's going to be okay. Let me see. Trying to find where the stitches piled up because I pressed on the gas without the presser foot being down, but I don't see it. So if I can't, oh, it's right here. All right, so this is how it looks from the right side. Let me just zoom in to show you this. So see, that's where the presser foot was down, and that's not a big deal. I'm just going to leave that. So it just looks like a little bit of extra stitches right there. Oh, Gary's asking if I cut the rolled edges as I serge. No, I was trying to uncurl them, and that's why I put the presser foot up, and that's how I forgot to put it back down. But like I said, it's only this little boo-boo right there, so I'll take that. Oh, I'm not going to be able to show you. Let me just see. Oh yeah, see, I'm still stuck. Let me see if I unplug this, if I plug it back in. Why isn't this working? Come on. Hello? Work. I mean, it seems like it's working. I mean, the green light's on now. Oh, nope, it's shut again. I don't know. All right, so I can't show you how it fits me because my camera's not working. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let me just see one thing here. I'm gonna see if I can try it on and then figure out a way to show you how it fits without my webcam working. Hold on 1 second here. I'm gonna raise this up. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm just looking in the mirror. Oh, yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. All right. Let me see if I can show you. I'm gonna have to. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can. Hi. All right, and then let me see if I. All right, so I guess I can show you. Okay, so happy with the way this is fitting. Okay, and the one thing about a raglan is it's got this, look how big and open this neckline is. That's going to draw in when I make the band to finish it. So that's how it's fitting. I made the sleeve short. I'm going to put a longer cuff on the sleeves to finish them. So it is a little bit short here, but I did that on purpose to make a longer cuff. All right, so happy with the way that looks. Here's the detail of my, flat lock stitch. So yay. So I'm happy with that. Let me put this back. And again, I'm going to have to figure out why why my camera's not working. All right, I'm going to take this off. And actually, I had a tank top on underneath it, so it'll fit really nice without a tank top underneath it. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, I've already cut my my strips out. So the way I'm going to finish this is I'm going to use this knit strip to finish the neckline, and to determine how long to make the strip. Let me just get this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am literally going to start. Let me make sure this is really nice and clear. Sorry, make it a little bit lighter. I'm going to start right here. Oh, excuse me. And I'm going to fold my strip in half. And I'm just going to put it along the edge of my neckline, and I'm going to gently stretch the strip as I walk it along the neckline. So you can see what's happening as I come along. See how it's getting shorter? It's already almost an inch shorter as I stretch. So as I stretch around, so let's say I take it to here. Oops. I'm going to pin it right here. And then I can turn it around, and I can get more neckline to work with. So I'm literally just stretching this neckline ever so slightly, around the neckline. And then when I get back to the front, which I have a little bit more to go here, and again, I'm just stretching just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, because I want to draw that back in. All right, so now we're back at the front. So when I get to here, I'm just going to stretch it that last little bit. So that's my finished length. So from here to here is what I need. I'm going to go ahead and give myself 2 seam allowances. So that's 3/4 of an inch. So I'll cut it like right here. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put right sides together like this. Now the other thing is I cut this band out on the bias. I don't know if you can see how the grain is going diagonal on the strip. Okay, wait, I missed a whole bunch of comments. Let me just back up and answer you guys here. Spot says there's an online movement to try to legislate for right to repair to stop companies from designing products that must be swapped out and non-functioning parts as a way of maintaining control. Yeah, that is annoying. Good, I hope that succeeds, Spot. Polly says, I don't understand why they don't have those sensors on sergers that tell you when the foot is up, like they do on so many sewing machines now. I know, that's true too. Oh, Barbara says if anyone's that close. I know, Barbara, but it's really a personal victory for me when I get like underarm seams to match. Mary says, to me, when sewing with knits, you need to learn your different differential feed knob, when the serge is going in both directions on a sample, it teaches you about serging on knits. Oh yeah, well that's a very good point, Mary. I didn't talk about the differential feed because I had pre-tested it, but if I drag my serger over here, you can see I have mine set at 1.3, and that's my differential feed setting. And the reason why I set it at 1.3 is because when I had it at N, meaning both the front and back feed dogs were going at the same rate of speed, it stretched out a little. So I sped up the front feed dogs at 1.3, so it pushes it in a little bit faster than it lets it out, and it compensates for the stretch. So thank you for bringing that up, Mary. Looks great. Yes, it does. Bless you, bless you. Oh, thank you. I sneezed. Oh, I love you guys. Oh, and hello. You are from India and you are a manual pattern master. I love that. And I'm so sorry. I am not going to try to pronounce your name, but welcome to my humble little channel. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this and I am going to put right sides together. I'm just looking to see what my right side is. Well, you know what's interesting? I'm having a hard time telling which is right and wrong here because, okay, this is the right side. Oops, this is the right side right here. I was having trouble seeing it. All right, let me put it this way. So I've got my right sides together here, like this. And I am going to use the flat lock stitch to sew these together. And I am going to go ahead and all right, I knew that was going a little bit rough. That's not attractive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out and I'm going to do it again. Sometimes working with small little edges causes an issue. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to use one of my labels from my UPS, or my shipping labels, to stabilize that. Now see how I have two short threads? I'm going to pull the short thread. The short thread is the needle thread, so see how nice that comes right out? Like I didn't even have to do anything. I did traumatize this a little bit. I'm going to just straighten it out here. All right, we're going to try this again, but I want to get an, I want to lead in, so I'm going to use this piece of label backing from one of my shipping labels. And I just want it to overlap a little bit, so I'm going to stick this right under there. And then I'm going to put this right under there as well. And I'm going to put it in there so the fabric is, almost at the needles and butted up against the thing here. I think that will help me get a better, and actually, you know what I'm going to do? It's being a little bit shifty. I'm actually going to get this to behave by pinning it to the, hold on. I'm going to use one of my, my larger magic pins. And I am going to pin this short edge to my paper so it doesn't slide. Cheryl is asking, why did you cut the neck band on the bias? All right, for two reasons. If you're working with a curly knit and you cut it on the bias edges don't curl. So that's the reason number one. And then reason number two is that the knitted, grain of the fabric is on the 90-degree angle. So it actually adds some interest to the binding, but mostly because, or I don't need this much. Okay, hold on. Mostly because so you can see, I can lay this flat and see how it's not curling. There's no curl. That's when you cut something out on the bias. That's one of the benefits. So I'm lining up the end of my thing here, and I'm just going to pin it with one pin like this. So when I go to sew it, it's not going to slide like this. Now this is a little bit pesky. I'm having a little bit of an agita thing here with this paper, but basically if I pin it like this, okay, and everything is matching up right there. So see, I pinned it like that. Then I can put it underneath my presser foot, and it's not going to move, and it's not going to do anything bad. And I can get it right there, like that. I can put the needle down. I can take the pin out once it's all in there, because you don't want to sew through the pin, right? So I took the pin out, and now I should be able to get a really good result after all of that. Okay. All right, so we can see that that's much better. I don't have a wackadoodle thing going on here, and then I can also just cut that off. So when I open it up, I have my nice thing, and this little edge got a little bunched up, but that's okay because that's going to be on the inside of my binding, so no one will see it. I'm just picking the paper away from the stitching here, and that'll wash away too, like over washing, but I can use my little tweezers, oops, to just pick that out too. I don't want that in there, but I mean that little bit isn't going to hurt anything. That tiny little bit that's left in there, I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so now how do I get this on my neckline? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half, okay, and I want this side to be the right side because it's nice and neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to put a pin right here, a clip I mean, and then I'm going to fold it in half like this. So it's all folded in half and ready to go. And the other side, so here's one side, like this. So I've got one side here and I've got one side over here. So I'm going to put my second clip right here. Okay, and that will give me, half. Then I'm going to put my clips together like this. So if I lay the clips together, then I can mark the other quarters, and I'm going to use that information to put this neck binding on in a way where everything lines up. Just fixing that. So these are good. So this is going to be right here. So if the clips are together, then this is where I'm going to put the third clip. And then with the clips together, again, this is where I'm going to put my 4th clip right here. All right, so now I've got the quarters of this done. So how do I find the quarters of my neckline? So fun fact, well, something I think is a fun fact, I'm going to line up this seam with the back armhole seam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my neckline in half, starting at that back armhole seam right here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm walking the 2 necklines together. So see what I'm doing? I'm literally just walking the necklines together to find the half point. And I bet you can guess that it's going to be somewhere in the front because the front neckline is bigger than the back neckline. So halfway around the neckline from the back armhole is going to be in the front. It's right here. So I'm going to put a clip here. Okay, and then let me lay that down so you can see what I did. Okay, so from here, halfway around the neckline to here, that's where the half is from here. Then I'm going to take this and this, and I'm just going to pin them together for a second to find my quarters. So again, I'm going to stretch out the neckline like this to find where the quarter is. Okay, so it's right here. And again, I'm just going to put a clip. And then I'm going to find it over here. It's right here. And then I'm going to lay it flat to show you the final answer of things. I'm going to unclip that. Okay, so what we have here is, you can see that from the back, this back seam to here is 1/4. So from here to here is 1/4. And then from here to here is my next quarter. From here to here is my 3rd quarter. And then from here to the back neckline is that. So then the next step is I'm going to take my band and I am going to put it right sides together. So the nice side is going to go right here on this seam. So basically it's going to look like the armhole seam continues right up into the neckband is what it's going to look like. It's going to make one seam. Hopefully it'll match up as lovely as my underarm seams, we'll see. Then I'm going to come around and I'm going to line up the 2nd pin with this one right here. Like this. So this pin and this pin have to line up. So I'll take this pin off and I'll just pin that to it. Then I'm going to come around again to here and I'm going to line up these 2 pins. And then the last one, I think I have to pull my shirt through to get it to... Okay, let's lay it flat so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I just need to get the last one clipped to the neckline. So it's this front one right here. Goes with this one right here. And the other thing I want to make sure is that I didn't twist it anywhere. I don't think I did. All right, so I'm going to take that clip off. I'm going to clip those. I'm going to come back and look at this one and make sure everything is nice. All right, so I think if I lay this like this now, you can see that I have clipped, you know, from here to here. There's some ease in there. See, I'm going to draw up all this ease, right? And then from here to here, there's ease. I'm just double checking between each set of pins that I have a similar amount of ease. And I'm also making sure that when I pinned it flat and I didn't pin the curl in there. So all that seems fabulous. So now we're going to bring the serger back. And I am going to have the neckline facing down because the neckline is bigger than the band, and the feed dogs will help feed the you know, the larger neckline into the shorter band as I sew. So I'm going to go ahead and start near the back where my seam is, right here. So I'm going to start just in front of that. So I'm just going to stick this all underneath here, like this. Now the goal is I want to stretch the neckline to the band. I'm sorry, I want to stretch the band to match the neckline. I don't want to stretch the neckline itself. So I'm going to start serging here. And as I come to each, you know, intersection, I'm just going to worry about between here and the next pin, which is right here. So I'm just gently going to stretch the band to match my neckline, like this. Just very carefully making sure that matches, like that. And again, I don't want to stretch the actual neckline. I'm just stretching the band. And I'm taking my time because I want this to look nice. Okay, so again, I'm going with the next quarter. And again, I'm just worrying about matching up from here to here. I'm trying not to trim anything off. Okay, on this quarter here. Okay, and now I'm on the last little bit here. Okay, so when I get to my start point, I'm going to cut my tail. Okay, so I cut my tail. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my knife down. So you can see the knife is right here. I'm just going to put it down. Okay, and then I'm going to just overlap just a few stitches here. I don't want to cut anything. I can't see. I think I'm going to just do a couple more. Okay, then after I think I've overlapped it enough, I'm going to raise my needle, pick up my presser foot, push everything back so there's nothing under the needle, put the presser foot down and chain off. So what that gives us is a nice start-stop point in the round. So let me show you that. So this is where I stopped. Okay, so you can see. See that nice stop start? You can't really see where the stop start is other than the fact that it's overlapping right there. All right, so then here's where the magic happens. So now when I pull this, look at how nice this is. This makes a nice detail. And when it's on, see, look how pretty that is. Oops. Let me make it so you can actually see how nice and pretty it is. So see how cool that is? It just makes this nice little detail. Back. And when it's on my body, you know, it's going to look really nice. See it's a little bit, see how it's a little bit wonky, but the minute I stretch it onto my body, it will be smooth, see? So that's a very nice raglan sleeve finish. I'm going to try it on and see if I can show you with it on. Ooh. Okay, let me look and see if I can show you in my, okay, here. I'm just gonna push this up so you can see me. Here I am. All right, let me just get this so. Okay, so see how nice that is? I don't know, can you see? I think you can. No, I don't think it's a minute. There we go. All right, so see how nice? It makes a nice finished neckline. Okay. All right, so that is my exciting FabFit Friday for today. I am so sorry that my camera is not working. I'm going to get with my husband and I'm going to make sure we work out all the little glitches for this thing because it's such a fabulous webcam and I can't get it to work. I mean, I got on half hour early today to make sure it was working, and it was working, and then it stopped working. So I'm going to figure that out. So I apologize to everybody about that, but I do want to thank everybody for watching. I hope everybody had a nice Labor Day weekend. I did. I got to meet with my group on Sunday. That was fun. My daughter had a picnic at her new house. That was fun. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that. I hope you're enjoying the last few drips of summer because fall's a-coming. And then I'm going to switch into making some more fall type outfits. So I'll be wearing this next Friday so you can see it completely finished. And I will also have a new fall sewing project for next week. So thank you guys for watching and have a lovely rest of your day. Oh, Mary's saying, oh, plus a bit of color. Yeah, it's purple. I like it. So yay. So anyway, so you guys have a great weekend and I will see you next week on Friday with another fall sewing project. All right. Bye, everyone.